Did you see the movie Civil War?
I haven't seen it. I did. I've seen most of the clips from it. I'm terrible. I don't like to go to movies.
You're not going to like it. Did you watch Leave the World Behind, the movie that Obama did?
Yeah, I saw that.
What'd you think about that one?
I just thought it was loopy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the problem with Civil War and the problem with Leave the World Behind is that they don't show that there's any particular community behind it, right? It's just random crap happening, right? The guy who produced Civil War basically said he was sort of like a modern day Hemingway. It's just reporting on violence and facts and names and numbers, and nothing means anything. Here's the problem. When you're in the middle of that Civil War, everything is going to mean a lot. That's why you're fighting it, right? This is what they don't portray. And it's not just like a colossal auto accident. No one saw World War II like a huge auto accident, right? It was a cause. It was whether the free world was going to survive or not. Everyone knew what it meant. The problem with these new movies is they just show it like a anonymous disaster. That's not how it's going to look to people.
Let me go back to my question. If a civil war and that kind of pain and fear, that event needs to happen for us to get in line with the right values and principles, if that's a level 10, okay? If that's a level 10, where are we at right now?
Look, we used to be at 2 or 3. I think we're now at 6, and we're rising.
And so 6. And do you think, according to your studies of the 4 turning, it has to get to a 9 or a 10?
It has to, and the social dynamic inevitably leads there in order for the thing to be resolved. In other words, it keeps moving in that direction. And it's accidental within the 4th turning. Civil War, Barbara Welter, did this recent book. She toured the world reporting on civil wars all over the world today, from Biafra to Burma and everywhere. She said the one universal thing that she had from everyone she interviewed is she says, they all say the same thing. We never saw it coming. We thought Henry Adams, who did his autobiography late in life around 1900, 1903, but he talked about this as a young diplomat he was a young diplomat in Washington, D.C. He was in his 20s. In 1860, 1861, and he said, no one saw the Civil War coming. No one believed it. No one thought it was going to happen. The South was always claiming there was secede. By then it was just like, every 10 years you make a big threat like that. We just ignored you by now. And then suddenly it happened, right? But I think when you look at history more broadly, you can see the general social dynamics that lead us to this moment. We're in one. The question for me is external versus internal. Will it be one? Will it be the other? Will it be both? And that actually is a dynamic which I kind of speculate on throughout the book, because I think it's an interesting one in how it's going to work out. And we look at both of them today, right? You look at the world today. My God, you look at external conflict. The entire world is growing tribal, right? We have kind of an anti-democratic faction, which is all aligning. We have the so-called democratic world, which is trying to align. But we see danger points around the world everywhere, and this is where we're heading. In that original book, to come back to those predictions, you remember you took from that book, we had a series of bullet points, I think just on 2 pages. This is, again, 1997. We're looking in the future. We predicted 5 things. I think you mentioned a couple of them. Mm-hmm. We predicted, a global financial crash. We predicted pandemic with imposition of martial law. Mm-hmm. We predicted Russia would invade a neighboring former Soviet republic.
Wow.
We also predicted a Tea Party freeze on the national debt. We actually used the word Tea Party. This was long before that was just a lucky guess. So we said Tea Party freeze on the national debt.
That's 4. What's the 5th?
That's 4. So those are all up cards. Those have been flipped. Those cards in it, those are all flipped. The other one's still a down card. That's several states start nullifying federal laws leading to secession, right? That's the down card. We haven't had that yet.
In these uncertain times, if there's anything we need people to believe the future looks bright. So if you've heard about me saying this mission to you, we're on a mission to get 1 million people to wear this gear. And this is what we're doing. If you buy one of these hats, there's a category of buying one hat, getting the second one free. If you haven't yet worn this gear publicly, go ahead and test it out. Buy some of the gear, wear it in public, and see how many people will stop by and say, you also watch Valuetainment? You also follow PBD Podcast? I do too. Place your order. Go to vtmerch.com, click on the link above or below, place your order, and represent the VT and the PBD Podcast gear.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.